What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Vulkan, and the question on most people's mind today is, should I or should I not pull for Claudia? She looks pretty cool. She has a great aesthetic. I really like her gameplay, but does she pair up really well with other SSRs? Is she worth investing in? Am I going to have to get a ton of duplicates to really make sure that she kind of reaches her breakthrough point? These are all things we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it. So are you someone who should pull for Claudia? So people who should pull for Claudia are folks who want a physical team or people who want to further increase the effectiveness of Shiro. But if you do pull for her, you need to be prepared to wait for a long time. You want to try to pull for Lyra once we have access to her to truly make this comp work well, because she is a fantastic addition to Claudia, according to CN players. She is a healer, but she can also deal a lot of damage. So until she arrives later in 2.0, physical teams may have a harder time being as effective as Volt or Frost, because those other two comps have quite a few other options they can choose to use, and they're more complete at this point in time. The other big question is, where is Claudia's breakthrough point? At what level of investment does she really start to shine? So for me, I think at 1 star. At 1 star, she starts to show her worth a little bit. At that point, you can stack up to 24% increased damage dealt for 25 seconds, and then you can let your DPS weapons do some work. Now, 1 star is just the tip of the iceberg. If you can get her to 3 stars, then she gains the ability to apply a debuff called War Wounds, and this increases the physical damage taken and shatter effectiveness by physical weapons. And this is something that's going to, again, be really, really impactful, but you need to get to 3 stars in order to see that. And if you're unlucky like me, that means you may have to go to 120 pulls 3 times, which, again, not great on the wallet, and not great on your stockpile of dark crystals either. So truly 1 star is what I would aim for if you want to go for Claudia right now, because we do know she will get added to the banner at some point in time, maybe sooner than later. And then you can use either gold pulls or you can use those black tokens that you have in order to just purchase duplicates. So for me, 1 star is what I'm going for. If you can get more than that, great, but truly that's where I would stop, because that is her breakthrough. Now, the other question here is, should you go all the way to 6 star? So let's say down the line, she moved over to standard banner and you're wanting to know, is 6 star worth it? Claudia is one of those weapons that's always going to be better with more investment. Each upgrade outside of the stat increases are going to increase your overall DPS as a team, as a physical team. At C3, she gains the ability to apply those War Wounds we just talked about. These are increasing your physical damage and your shatter on targets. At C5, she's going to increase all weapon skill damage by 20%. And then at C6, she removes the damage penalty from her skill, because when you use her skill, if you hit the same target twice, it's going to have reduced damage done. But C6 removes that, and it allows you to apply another stack of War Wounds, which further increases your physical damage and shatter. So while the whales or extremely lucky players will honestly, realistically, be the ones to get her fully upgraded, it still seems worth it to me once she moves into the standard banner. So the next question you're probably asking is, Vulkan, who are some great weapons to pair her with? Well, we have a lot to break down here. So in terms of your DPS team, I really like Claudia, Shiro, and then either Samir or Crow. Yes, you do lose the Volt Resonance since we aren't rolling with Nemesis, but you still can't deny the amount of damage that Crow and Samir can put out. Especially with Samir's Matrices coming with 1.5 as well, this type of damage comp will do extremely well in my opinion. Now, there is another sleeper in here. You could slot in Huma if you really like the damage that she puts out, but still, I do prefer Samir and Crow. Now, in terms of a support team, so here I do still have Claudia and Shiro. Pretty much these are a package deal. You have to have these two to activate the physical resonance, so every team will start with Claudia, Shiro, and then insert another weapon there. But for the support team, we're going to go with Coco as our third weapon. She brings a lot of extra weapon charge to the table, which allows you to use the discharge for Claudia's weapon much more. And this allows you to maintain a high uptime for all of her damage buffs, which then makes your party more effective. Plus, with Coco being a healer, you can support your team with heals when needed. Now, the whole purpose of this comp is to debuff the target with Grievous as often as possible, and then heal up your team when you have to. So that is truly what I was going for this support team. Now, in terms of a solo team, you have Claudia and Shiro again. Now, if you want to solo, you can either pull Coco for heals and charge if you really like that playstyle. You can go Nemesis for heals and damage, or you could go Huma for damage, shatter, and some extra protection if you have her at 1 star for her strong shield. So that's a really solid solo team. And then our last team is our SR team. So if you're new to the game, you come in, you're like, I really want Claudia. You pull Claudia, great, but that's the only SSR you have. You could go Claudia, Bailing, and then Echo or Ine. So if you're someone who likes to pair Claudia with some SR weapons, here's what we're looking at. You want to take Bailing because you want that physical DPS that we can activate physical resonance. Plus, after some investment, Bailing is actually, she's not a slouch. She can do some damage, but she also helps increase the damage of your party. She's basically like a Walmart Tsubasa. Then you can pair her with Ine or Echo to add some extra shatter and damage to your party. So those are all of the comps that I have so far that I've been able to test, and all of them have done extremely well at level 61. So will we see any changes from test client to global? Maybe, but for now, these ones seem to perform pretty well. So let's talk about my impressions so far before we wrap this thing up. So far I've been having a good time with Claudia. She is a fantastic weapon. She's super fun to use. I like her play style. It definitely fits me more than Frigg did. So Claudia has been able to buff up the party and dish out some really nice damage, especially when Shiro is charging up. Then you can flip over to Shiro to dish out even more damage and shatter shields and do all of that fun stuff. But the issue here, right, and we've talked about this a little bit earlier, the issue is without getting her to 1 star, Claudia doesn't provide anything extra over Shiro. So if you don't want to push for a duplicate, then I would say stick with what you have now. And if you really want to use Shiro, then just use Shiro as a shatter and off DPS. That's truly if you really want to. But if you do not want to go for a duplicate of Claudia, I don't see the value there right now. Claudia is great, but she does take that extra investment to really start making her presence known on the battlefield. So keep that in mind. Be prepared to pull at least 1 dupe if you really want to see some extra oomph to your party, or if you are just die hard physical, then you can as well. So that's really all I got for you guys. I hope this was quick, simple, to the point. Let me know in the comment section below. Are you pulling for Claudia? Is this a team that you want to go for? Half of my gear rolled Frost, the other half rolled physical, so I'm trying to kind of pick what I want to do. But for now, I think I might go to physical because I really like Lyra and what she brings to the table too. So anyway, that's sort of what I'm leaning towards, but hey, who knows? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like Tower Fantasy content, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. And thank you all so much for watching. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.